to today's edition of Search the Scriptures. We're on study number 5 in the book of Job, which covers the last part of chapter 9:25, through all of chapter number 10. And we are going to attempt to answer two different sets of questions. The first, in chapter 9 and verse 33, the quote from that, "someone to arbitrate," is mentioned for the very first time in the book of Job. As we go through the book of Job, we might keep a list of the occurrences of that arbitrator or mediator, and notice what new features each fresh mention of that term brings. What are some ways in which Jesus Christ has made Job's wish a reality for us? And secondly, what is Job's main desire in chapter 10? And do you think he is angered by such plain speaking, that God is angered by such plain speaking? So let's look at Job chapter 9, beginning with the 25th verse, all the way through the end of chapter number 10 together, and let's listen to it together.
My days are swifter than a runner. They fly away without a glimpse of joy. They skim past like boats of papyrus, like eagles swooping down on their prey. If I say I will forget my complaint, I will change my expression and smile, I still dread all my sufferings, for I know you will not hold me innocent. Since I am already found guilty, why should I struggle in vain? Even if I washed myself with soap and my hands with washing soda, you would plunge me into a slime pit so that even my clothes would detest me. He is not a man like me that I might answer him, that we might confront each other in court. If only there were someone to arbitrate between us, to lay his hand upon us both, someone to remove God's rod from me, so that his terror would frighten me no more. Then I would speak up without fear of him. But as it now stands with me, I cannot. Job 10. I loathe my very life. Therefore I will give free rein to my complaint, and speak out in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to God, do not condemn me, but tell me what charges you have against me. Does it please you to oppress me, to spurn the work of your hands while you smile on the schemes of the wicked? Do you have eyes of flesh? Do you see as a mortal sees? Are your days like those of a mortal, or your years like those of a man, that you must search out my faults and probe after my sin? Though you know that I am not guilty, and that no one can rescue me from your hand. Your hands have shaped me and made me. Will you now turn and destroy me? Remember that you molded me like clay. Will you now turn me to dust again? Did you not pour me out like milk, and curdle me like cheese? Clothe me with skin and flesh, and knit me together with bones and sinews? You gave me life, and showed me kindness, and in your providence watched over my spirit. But this is what you concealed in your heart, and I know that this was in your mind. If I sinned, you would be watching me, and would not let my offense go unpunished. If I am guilty, woe to me. Even if I am innocent, I cannot lift my head, for I am full of shame and drowned in my affliction. If I hold my head high, you stalk me like a lion, and again display your awesome power against me. You bring new witnesses against me, and increase your anger toward me. Your forces come against me wave upon wave. Why then did you bring me out of the womb? I wish I had died before any eye saw me. If only I had never come into being, or had been carried straight from the womb to the grave. Are not my few days almost over? Turn away from me so I can have a moment's joy before I go to the place of no return, to the land of gloom and deep shadow, to the land of deepest night, of deep shadow and disorder, where even the light is like darkness.
Now to the questions for study number 5. In chapter 9 and verse 33, the quote there, "someone to arbitrate," is mentioned for the first time in the book of Job. As we continue to go through this book, try to keep a list of the times that occurs and notice the new features that every mention of that brings out. Suggests some ways in which Jesus has made Job's great wish a reality to us. Well, Christ really is the ultimate middleman, the ultimate umpire or arbiter. He stands between us and certain judgment. He intercedes to the Father on our behalf. He says to the Father, "This one is mine." He signs our pardon with his blood, and the punishment that was meant for us falls upon him. So way back in what was believed to be the very first book of Scripture that anyone had written things down, the oldest story, the oldest book of our Scriptures, we have the mention of Christ. Now let's look at the second question. What's Job's main desire in chapter 10? And do you think God is angered by such plain speaking? Well, I think really Job has possibly two different desires or things that are going on here. First of all, I think it's Job desires some sort of an explanation. He wants an answer to this question: why me? And he also wants a few remaining moments of peace before he dies. In other words, he doesn't want to end life on a sour note or down. He wants to end his life on a high note. I don't know about you, but a lot of times I ask the question, why me? When I'm hurting, when I'm going through really difficult times and struggles, and there isn't sin in my life, and I'm trying to do everything for the Lord. I'm trying to do everything right. And a lot of times in moments like that, when everything from a spiritual standpoint seems to be going very, very well in our life, a lot of trials can come along, and we will, like Job, say, why me? All I got to do is just hang in there and believe and realize that Job's question, his wish to end life on a high note, happened. And we can just believe that God will turn things around for us in our situation. If you are on a down time right now and really going through some struggles, but have everything else going right in your life from a spiritual standpoint, maybe you're asking the question, why me? Know this: the Lord loves you, sees where you're at, knows where you're at, and He will bring you out of that difficulty. Hope you're having a great day so far. Hope this study has been helpful to you. God bless the rest of your day.